So when someone requests a website review, I get notified immediately. I mean, some of those people are just fans and some are really hot leads, but a lot of times the people who are consistently on that list will eventually purchase from us. The one that's most likely taking most of your business is nothing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Landscaper's Guide podcast. Today I'm excited to interview our Director of Client Strategy, Robert Felton, about one of our favorite topics, which is gold mining. This is nurturing leads in your database. This could be existing customers that you're going to cross-sell to additional services, or often it's leads that may take years to nurture along in your database before you close them. And it's a special day because it's Robert's 8-year, what we call Rambler-versary, meaning he's worked for Ramblin Jackson for a total of 8 years. It was technically yesterday, but we're celebrating today.
Hey, they don't need to know.
And Robert, thanks for Ramblin for 8 years.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, it's been, I don't know, not a lot of people my age work somewhere for 8 years, but I mean, I really like what I do. And I mean, you've created a great work environment. And we always joke there's an exclusive club of Ramblers who've left and then realized they wanted to come back. So we always joke about that. And I'm so happy I came back and it's been great.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So you left for a brief period and then came back and left on great terms. And you've been just slaying it since then. So you started at a junior business development role. So Robert, I mean, I think you're going to learn a lot today in the podcast because Robert has done everything from like cold calling, cold emailing, junior business development work, working up to a landscape marketing strategist. And then now you're the director of client strategy, managing at this time 2 landscape marketing guides. Tomorrow you're doing a paid sales training with a client. And so you just you know a lot, and you always continue to grow. And one of the things that I think that has helped you succeed is what we're talking about today, which is gold mining. What is gold mining?
So gold mining is utilizing the tools and information you already have and digging through it to find opportunities you maybe have overlooked or opportunities that are hidden in the information, the data, the sales data that you already have, sales and marketing data, I should say. So it's kind of looking back. I mean, one thing that's cool is every event Jack's ever spoke at, we've got the contact list. We have, hey, these people attended this Texas event in 2021, and I can go back and look at those people, see what they did, and start reaching out and remembering information about them.
Yeah, and so it's a combination of CRM data, spreadsheets, and then also we both use paper. So I wanted to hear, because a lot of our landscape professionals listening, maybe they're not super into the CRM or they haven't figured it out. Or some of them, I've gone to multi-million-dollar landscape companies that literally have a whiteboard. Now, I'm seeing more adoption of tech in the landscape industry. And we're going to talk about Lead Wrangler, our software, in a little bit. But what's kind of your method, would you say, for combining those things?
I think one thing I have to do is thank you, and I think it's a traction tactic. I'm not entirely positive, but we have a weekly plan that's due to you or your supervisor every single week, and I've been doing it for like 8 years. So something that I can do is I have quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and every single year, and I'm keeping track of what's most important to me every single week. So I can go back and reference 2022, quarter 2, who almost closed that year or that quarter, who was on my hot list. I'm constantly keeping a hot list and filtering it in and out. So that's just a Google sheet that I've been keeping track of. And when I don't know what to do, sometimes I'll go back, look at a few different years, see, and go, oh yeah, I remember them. And then I take action. The other thing is I have all my notebooks. I'm constantly taking notes, and I have them all in my office. So sometimes I just grab 1 or 2 and look back, and I don't know, I have a good memory. So it starts jogging. And I remember, and I can see circled things on the paper. And I'm like, oh yeah, they did have that problem. And one of my favorite is, not just following up is not something I would say. I would say, hey, when we last talked in 2023, you were having a big recruitment issue. Have you found someone to help you with that? ? And gets a lot of responses.
So that's a great follow-up on the specific problem. And for landscape folks, if somebody had a drainage issue and they didn't close. Maybe you got to the point where you met with them, they got a proposal, but they ghosted. That's a perfect time to follow up when there's a weather event.
Yeah.
When it's raining, hey, we've got this weather event coming and I thought of you. Did you ever get that drainage problem solved?
Yeah.
And they're going to reply. If they didn't, they're going to be really impressed that you followed up on that. And they're probably going to be like, oh crap, I didn't. And I'm sorry, I went on vacation and then I got sick, or like life happened. So I like keeping the notes on what was the problem they had and then following up on the problem is so important, because I get so much lazy follow-up from
Me too.
from salespeople. Oh, just checking in.
Yeah, just
following
circling back.
Circling back on what?
Yeah, to close. Yeah, I don't want to make your sale. I want you to solve my problem. So you need to remember the issue or the problem, and it's just so important. So
keeping good notes in a CRM, and then also pen and paper, and then planning your week, though. I think that's a key thing for salespeople. And so you mentioned something that I think is very similar to selling if you were actually a landscaper, which is there are times of year where like you're going to have no shortage of people contacting you. They're pursuing you. It's springtime. There's a weather event. There's a reason that you're more or less like riding a wave almost and responding. And then there are times of year where it's slower, or it's October, November, December for a landscape company. And that's where you're going to need to do more of the topic that we're talking about, which is gold mining.
Yeah.
And that's where you're looking in your database and you're finding a reason to follow up with people. And that's where having those notes is so valuable. So that way you're organized and you know why you're following up. And I've hired a lot of people for different home projects, landscaping, remodeling, plumbing. And when people follow up and they actually remember what we talked about, I'm like, oh, this person is going to save me time.
Yeah.
Whereas I've hired people who are disorganized, or they forget, and unfortunately, I've had things drag on for months even, because they come and they don't remember what we talked about and they don't get it done. And they're like, oh, we can't come back for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. And one of the tools that we've created at Ramblin Jackson is Lead Wrangler. So we've personalized this software to help landscape companies follow up and keep in touch with people. And we've been using it at Ramblin Jackson for, I can't believe it's actually close to 18 months.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah, it's actually close to 18 months before we rolled it out to our clients.
Oh, awesome.
And one of the things that I like about Lead Wrangler that helps us in our gold mining is the engagement score.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about engagement score?
Yeah, I love the engagement score. So an engagement score is something that you can set up. It's kind of saying, hey, when somebody does X, Y, and Z actions, we want to be notified that they've reached the engagement score limit. So you could set it. It's an arbitrary number, but you can set what you want it to be. But we have it. And when someone gets over 10, which means they've probably looked at the pricing page, they've opened several of your podcast emails, and they've visited the website at least 2 separate times. That really gives me an indication that this person is hot. Something I always talk about is do not treat all leads equally. You should be treating your A leads, B leads, hot leads, talking about hot, warm, cold. These are hot leads when they reach this engagement score. It means they've taken action. They're interacting on their website. I kind of compare it to when you look at something on Amazon and it starts following you around on the internet. It's kind of the same idea. As they know. The CRM Lead Wrangler knows that this person's been on the website, done things, interacted with the marketing, and they're more likely to know Ramblin Jackson, Jack Jostes, Robert Felton, and being able to get further quicker with a cold call or a website review.
So folks listening, you're probably getting contacted by me and Robert, and we know when you're visiting certain pages of the website. And we're now helping landscape companies do that. So a way that landscape companies could do this is if we did commercial landscaping as an example, and we have certain HOA communities that we're targeting. And we also have certain hospital clients or apartment complexes. we could build out pages for HOAs that talk about, and they have testimonials from HOAs.
Yep.
We could have the apartment complex page with photos of apartment complexes and so on. And when people in your database are visiting those pages, or when they're visiting your pricing page or opening certain email campaigns, we can set up automations that notify the account managers or salespeople from our clients that, hey, Bob Smith reached a engagement score of 10.
Yeah.
And you can see then which pages that person viewed and follow up with them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have it set up to email notify me. So I could even text notify me, which I used to do in the past. But when someone does any of my hooks or reaches an engagement score. So when someone requests a website review, I get notified immediately, and I try to take action as soon as possible. The other one is when somebody reaches that engagement score, I get a notification. I click on the name and it goes directly into Lead Wrangler, and I can start seeing what they're doing and how they reach that engagement score. So something that we saw that's pretty cool is, most people who buy from us have visited the pricing page, our pricing page, at least once. So it's just kind of a cool trend that we're starting to see, as people who are serious buyers are going to be looking at the pricing page. So I think going back to the landscape example, working with commercial landscaping clients, it's so important to know what they're interested in. And if someone's on your HOA page, or your, 10 big mistakes that snow removal or snow and ice management companies make and blah, 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 it's a really good time to maybe call them. So
it is, yeah. And so part of it's waiting for them to do things. And then there's also things that we can proactively do with Lead Wrangler, like email marketing campaigns. So I wanted to talk about email marketing because many people are good at generating leads, like through Google search or word of mouth or Google ads, and they qualify, and then they send a proposal, and then that's it. I'm amazed by how many landscape professionals go through so much work to create a detailed estimate for somebody to only just send it, and then they don't follow up. So what we're helping people do is follow up at least 3 times. Personal, like a combination of automated follow-ups, like, hey, did you get this proposal? Because one little comment on that, like, one time I got a follow-up from a painting company that gave me an estimate, and it came from some really weird email, and I had met with, I think his name was Jason, so I was searching my email for like a quote from Jason.
Can't find it.
But it came from Foothills Paint. I can't even remember their company name, because I built a relationship with Jason. Right. So like little stuff like having your first and last name and your company name in your proposal is really important. So that way when people search it, or when they get it, they recognize who it's from. But, he followed up and then called me and closed the sale.
Yeah, a vital one for me is making sure when I'm selecting a proposal software is that I can control inserting the link, that I don't have to send it through the software. Because we use Proposify as one of our softwares, and I could send it through Proposify, and it would come from info@proposify.com or whatever, and no one would be able to find it. So that's something that's just important to me personally, is I'm very creative about my subject lines. I always make sure Ramblin Jackson's in there, so when they type it in, they can find any and all interactions with me. But I think one other note that you mentioned earlier is just they send the agreement and never follow up, things like that. I think an important thing is people forget about their biggest competitor all the time, which is doing nothing. I always hear about the other landscapers all the time, but the one that's most likely taking most of your business is nothing. Like, their kid got sick, they went back to school, their car broke down. Then they forgot. They don't do the drainage project. They don't do the outdoor living project. So if you just give up, it's just, you're putting so much money on the table, and you're spending so much money to get these leads that you gotta make sure that you're competing against doing nothing. So that's the one I talk with clients a lot about, is just, I don't want to bother them, I'm not going to follow up. We didn't win that one. I'm like, you probably have another shot. You'd be surprised.
Well, because what happens for the client is sometimes they then get embarrassed. That they're like, oh, I didn't reply to Robert or whoever the salesperson is.
It's been months.
And it's been months, and they're embarrassed. And following up on the problem, like we talked about earlier, hey, have you solved this drainage problem? Did you hire a snow removal contractor for next year? We only have 3 openings left. is one of the things, and I think there's automated and personal follow-up that should happen with every proposal.
Yeah.
And then putting people in a lead nurturing sequence. So this is where maybe you do your 3 follow-ups.
Yeah.
And then this is where the power of email marketing is so great, is if you continue sending email marketing to them and it includes links in it to your website and you have Lead Wrangler set up, now you're giving them a reason to click back onto the website and be like, oh yeah, I remember this company. Because if they went out and got 3 to 5 quotes or whatever, the chance of them remembering all of those people when most of them don't even follow up is really low.
Yeah.
And if you're the one that follows up at the time of the sale and ideally schedules a meeting like, hey, why don't we meet next week to review this? Yes, I will send it to you. I think that can really help. And then the email marketing, one of our clients, Scott Parker Landscape Design, high-end residential, first email campaign we sent out, he reactivated 2 sales. And these were just people that were in his database for a long time. They got a proposal in the past, didn't buy for whatever reason, and now they're back. And that email, the cool thing is it was sent to everybody.
Yeah. So I think talking a little bit more about email and the sequences and following up with people is you can see open click rates, things like that. So it's just like a nice place to be able to find a little bit of information. So you'll find raving fans, like I know who the raving fans of your podcast are people who listen and open and click on it every single week. So, I mean, some of those people are just fans and some are really hot leads, but a lot of times the people who are consistently on that list will eventually purchase from us. So knowing and paying attention to those people, getting information, but I mean, sending out an email, even a newsletter, something like that.
Yeah.
And not only, we got a lot of clicks and opens, it's like who clicked and opened, especially in commercial. It's just so important. Like, yeah.
Well, so you get back to, you were talking about prioritization for salespeople. So hot leads, these are the people who are most likely to close.
Yep.
And you should always be focused on them first. If they're like about to buy, you should focus on them. It's like if you were a restaurant and you come and take somebody's order, like bring them their food, right? Like get it done. Otherwise, they're going to be like, why are you ignoring me? I'm really upset. And then warm leads are people, maybe they've scheduled a meeting in the past or they've filled out the form on your website, but you haven't connected with them. And then the cold leads could be people who are in your database, or maybe you're doing true outbound work. You know, and you would focus on them last. But yeah, the open rates and the clicks give you some of that information to help you prioritize. And I like what you said earlier, that you're planning your week around that. And if we could get our clients to do that, they would be unstoppable. Like if they, even if they had a day a week where they called people back, even if it was simply days that had gone by, like so many contractors don't ever call anybody back, that if they even did it once a week, I mean, ideally it would be twice a week or 3 times a week or every day. But I know how busy our clients are, and then they lose staff, and they have no shortage of things to do.
There's also a little bit of just fear of the phone. A lot of people seem to have it. It's a hard thing to get over, but I mean, it's just like video. Once you start doing it and you kind of get into the routine, it's pretty easy. So I challenge you to try it, call a few of those leads.
Or text them.
Yeah, texting works really, really well.
Texting is great.
Yeah, I think
with some people.
Yeah.
So some people love email, some people love text, some people are like, do not text me. I actually don't like texting for business stuff very much.
Okay.
Like we're here at a conference and I'm like, hey, we're meeting. That makes sense. But like all the time,
no, it makes sense.
We have other...
I text to plan things. I'm not a small talker via text, but I'm a pretty good small talker in person. So
that's good.
I always just laugh because people are like, you're so good at this, but not... I'm like, where are we going? What's the directions is my text messaging.
So we've talked a bit about Lead Wrangler, and many people may not know what it is. It is the premier sales and marketing CRM for the landscape industry. We've created this. It's only for our clients at this time. I don't really want to offer it to everybody. It's more something that we created to simplify reporting, so we can do call tracking, phone numbers. So when we do postcards for clients, when we do Google ads, organic search, when they get calls, we can tell them this came from this marketing source, and it can record it. It also, one of our clients does an amazing job. They have a call center answer their phone, and then the call center fills out a form, and that automatically creates a lead for their salesperson, who then opens the app on his phone and calls them, and it records it and transcribes the notes.
Yeah.
So he's out and about. This is a lawn care client.
Yeah.
He's out and about trying to do 10 estimates a day.
Yeah.
Right. So he's busy. So the more time he can spend selling and the less time typing stuff, that's really the key. And this automates a lot of that. So it has a lot of integration capability, helps people with not only their reporting, but also a pipeline tool to keep people along the way from website to this stage to phone call to estimate. And what else?
Yeah, I think two things that I find really awesome about Lead Wrangler is, I've worked in sales a long time, and a lot of times people leave, things happen, and you got to step in and take over. And Lead Wrangler gives you those notes and those opportunities. We had some turnover, and I had to take over a few accounts, and I could go in, I could see what emails were sent, I could see what phone calls were made, I could see vital notes. So when I step in, yes, I do have to do a little catch up, and it's not just like, oh, I don't know anything about you. It's like, hey, I know X, Y, and Z. I know this is that right. I asked for confirmation. They were impressed I knew something. Still needed to catch up, but thank goodness I had Lead Wrangler. I was able to catch myself up. I think the other thing I think is really important is lead segmentation a little bit. It's one of my favorite things that we've always done is like Jack speaks all over. And I can look back and see, and I can message the people who attended Jack's events in Texas. And I can have a message that's a little more tailored to Texas clients who have seen Jack speak, things like that. So one of my favorites is building what you call a dream list. Clients who love to buy things, who trust you, who want to know what the new hottest thing is in outdoor living. You have a client in Kansas City. She's always art. She's selling saunas, whirlpools, and these people appreciate being followed up and told, like, everybody's getting this.
For sure.
You want it, don't you? And they do. So I just think being able to organize those lists and organize your leads in a way that makes follow-up more efficient is so awesome.
Not only follow-up, but cross-selling. This is the number one way to increase your lifetime value per customer. So getting each customer, so ideally they buy the backyard and they buy maintenance. And then later on they do their front yard. But if they only buy maintenance and haven't done the install project yet, keeping track of that so you can send promotions that like, hey, we're currently scheduling design consultations for the spring. Dream up a new backyard with a...
we loved working with you last year. Are you interested in adding anything to the project? If you get in touch now, we could have it done before, it's too far into summer or something like that.
So one of our best campaigns that we did with Lead Wrangler was one of the first actually, was with Tice Landscape Works. And so we did a campaign for front yard landscape installations, and the primary people who took advantage of it were their existing customers. And we pushed it early in February before it got hot. And we're like, hey, you're one of our premier clients. We want to give you priority scheduling to get your project done before Easter. And we had a campaign. And then the number one thing they did was they called everyone. They call
hardest
people.
Thing.
It's the hardest thing. If we could get our clients to call, like the phone call, it's really all of this is meant to create an opportunity to have a conversation. So I think being prepared with your follow-up, never just follow up or just check in. Like get a life, like do something better.
And don't treat all leads equal. There's no way to treat them equal. You gotta prioritize. And what was it? Closest alligator to the boat. Not the best reference here. That's usually a problem. But who's the closest to buying? And you should work your way back from there. And it's kind of like laundry on my list. It never really gets to the top. But
well, right now we're under a cool moss-covered live oak in Amelia Island, Florida. We're at the Bach Business Partners Leadership and Sales Summit. And this was a cool event. If for folks listening, check out Bach Business Partners. They really have a cool, tightly knit, truly exclusive group. Like he was talking yesterday that they like turn away a lot of people. And the quality of the people here is really high. We've got to go. We've got to go to the dinner event, see some awards. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Always happy to be here. So good talking to you, Jack, and looking forward to being on it again soon.
I hope so.